Thanks for coming back to the show. I wanted to learn more about this because I found this post very interesting. It was my goal to find all of this information. The list says that 27 of the 37 Fednow approved service companies are Ripple partners or work with Ripple partners. Fednow wants to connect 10,000 banks and other financial organizations. I thought, oh crap, okay, that's really cool. So I wanted to know more about this, like how much value we're talking about, how many deals are there, what are the links? And this video is going to be all about going over all of this information. It's going to be hard to learn these things. A lot of information will be given to you. That being said, you can pause the movie and read anything on the screen whenever you need to. You can always watch the next part when I'm done with it. Okay, let's begin. It says that Ripple is gone, which is what I always say in my films, for a top-down integration with their business model, which means they want software and cash management providers to work with thousands of banks and other institutions instead of working with each one separately. A good example is SBI Holdings' partnership with Ripple when they made SBI Ripple Asia. Participants of RippleNet, which uses distributed ledger technology, can connect directly with financial institutions with a single API and instantly and reliably send money to over 40 different currencies in over 70 countries. As for SBI Holdings, it has 240 companies on its own. This brings us back to Fednow and how deeply rooted Ripple is now. Fednow would never put a company on their public list that is being sued for selling securities, like Ripple is, even if they are winning the case. They would wait until it's over before doing so. Fednow gives a list of 57 early adopters of the organization in 2023. These include financial institutions and service providers that have finished training in the Fednow service. As of now, there are 142 providers and over 1,216 live users. Their goal is still 10,000. The early adopters are now running the service one last time to make sure it's ready to handle real transactions over the new instant payments infrastructure. As senders, receivers, or correspondents backing settlement, 41 financial institutions are among the early adopters. It used to be that 15 service providers took care of half of the members in the U.S. Department of Treasury. Now 35 service providers do the work. The Federal Reserve is still working with banking institutions and service providers that plan to join later in 2018, in addition to the early adopters, 23 and beyond, as the first step toward building a strong network of these companies. That's why it starts to affect them, okay? So many years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, the US Department or government wanted to figure out how to make payments faster. Because of this, they set up a council to speed up payments, which Ripple was on. Then there was a task group with Ripple and some really great partners to make payments faster. We're not going to talk about that a lot because we've already talked about it a lot on this channel. Here I want to get into some of these very specific. So ACI all over the world, okay? ACI serves 9% of SWIFT traffic around the world and 30% in the US. ACI also works with real-time plans all over the world. By this, we mean that any bank can use real-time payment systems to handle wire, immediate, SWIFT financial or SWIFT financial GPI payments. Take note of how Ripple is the same thing as DLT for both of them. It does not talk about Ethereum or BTC. So let's look at what they speak of. I'll just bring this up on the screen. To make ACI work with SWIFT, I think the leak link is now broken. Oh, it's all a criticism. Some of Ripple's partners are the clearinghouse, which is made up of a lot of companies, Amazon Web Services, Ripple, and the US Faster Payments Council. Following that, these guys should be right here. It's about our friends. In this case, we have Amazon Web Services and the clearinghouse. They also say that Ripple works with many banks and other financial institutions that are part of the clearinghouse. I think it's also a part of Apple. There's also Fednow, of course. You have tools too, TApp solutions. Whichever partner we have with the US Faster Payments Council on which Ripple was a member was a big deal. It also works with Jack Henry C. below to make Ripple links. As it turns out, these guys are the top fintech payments provider, and they work with more than half of all banks and credit unions, or more than 70% of all bankers and banks. After that come correspondents and fintech providers. So you can see a CAPTCHA. It was also on the Notch Alliance. I think it was the Notch Task Force and the US Faster Payments Council. So they did have something to do with that. The head of digital assets at BNY Mellon is leaving to join Ripple. You can guess that Ripple's ICO for their own coin would have used the XRP ledger since they send in ideas to help with it. In fact, here is that information. It was a long time ago. Let me play this. I would say that my journey into blockchain began in 2017 when Bank of New York Mellon asked me to join a meeting with Ripple. Another thing Ripple wanted to do was an ICO with the bank. The ICO was for a BK coin. When I got to the meeting, I saw that I wasn't really getting what they were saying. I knew that our current capital markets and the way the middle back office was set up caused a lot of problems. I wasn't sure about the tech, though. It wasn't clear to me. Some of the words they used were hard for me to understand, and I made up my mind to take a class. I did sign up for a class. Okay, you get the idea. I'm just letting you know that BNY Mellon went to Ripple to start their own type of coin. I don't think they do that, but it was still an interesting talk. Also, BNY Mellon is a partner of Ripple. You also have CNM Software LLC partner with the clearinghouse, which is made up of many Ripple partners taking advantage of Fednow's reach to reach an extra 7,000 financial institutions in the US through correspondent banking systems. In addition to the 6,000, it directly serves. This is everything that is needed for the dispatcher and the CMM software to accept the pay to Fednow. This is the knowledge you need about CCMSW. There's not a lot to see on this page. They have a summary of how to get in, but I don't want to go into too much detail. I'm just giving you the link in case you want to check it out for yourself. I'll also leave the link to all of this in the description if you'd like to look at this on your own. But here's something we should pay a little more attention to, CGI. The reason for CGI is that it's so big. It's really big. Also, guys, please hit like if you made it this far. If you help this video, I think it will do really well. You want to help me as a YouTuber if you like my videos. You want me to keep doing this job and keep entertaining you and giving you all the facts and information you need about XRP in the crypto space. If you think someone would really enjoy this video, please click like and share it with them. That would be really helpful. Thanks for everything you've done. We've now reached 63K. I love all of you. Thanks. Okay? Because Ripple links with CGI, we can talk about them here. CGI then partners with two big Canadian banks, the Bank of Montreal and the National Bank of Canada. Then there's the Ripple thought. Let's look at the Ripple observations. RIF and CGI worked together first. It happened in 2015, on the 15th of October 2015. This is why we need to talk about it. If this were a website from someone else, I might think, maybe we can't trust this information, but this is cgi.com, their own website. Okay. That's why the information says they move 21 trillion a day. We need to pay attention. It's true. You got a lot of cash there, man. $21 trillion every day. Today, we help our clients send and receive more than $21 trillion in payments every day. This includes real-time payments. Our services also help clients handle 40% of all foreign exchange settlements and 35% of all US Fedwire deals. I think it was about $4.2 trillion a day that Fedwire sent. Around 20% of all SWIFT payments and $500 billion every day go through central market systems. That's a really big relationship, okay? There's a lot of cheddar there. Really, wow. Aside from maybe ACI and a few others, I think this is the biggest financial market ever. Like, wow. Okay. After that is Coco Inc. FIS is a partner of Coco Inc. and also a partner of Ripple. I think this is their partner page. They're also like Oracle, Comcast, Intuit QuickBooks, Zelle, and a lot of other companies. Now look at FIS and Pfizer. I'm going to move this a little bit over so we don't have to come back to it as late in the chat. That's just a few other companies to look at. Then there's DCI and MIT. One of the validator nodes on the Ripple blockchain is run by DCI. The Federal Reserve of Boston and DCI